Hi, I'm April Davis, matchmaker and dating coach at LUMA Luxury Matchmaking. Have you ever felt a deep connection with a love interest only for them to pull away from the relationship? Maybe you two were together for a few months, or maybe even married for a decade. Out of the blue, they suddenly start avoiding conversations with you. They pick up new, out-of-character hobbies that normally wouldn't interest them. They might be going out with friends and colleagues more often and then just blow off plans with you. You know the vibe in your relationship has shifted. You can feel the distance emotionally and physically. You wonder if they have wandering eyes or if they're planning for a breakup. However, you have no clue as to why your partner has become so abruptly distant. If you've ever felt a cold shoulder from your partner, you're not alone. In fact, only about 10% of relationships in the US are considered to be happy and healthy, and over half of all marriages in the US lead to divorce. Those statistics certainly aren't pleasant, but they do show how transient partnerships can be if not properly nurtured and cared for. The hardest truth, however, is that there is no one reason why loving flames sometimes just burn out. But with some soul searching and taking an inventory of your relationship, you can determine the most likely reason why your partner is pulling away. I'll share with you 5 of the most common causes of emotional distance between partners and tell you how to repair your bond. Number 1, cheating. Okay, this one is likely the first outcome you've considered when you noticed your partner was being standoffish, especially if they've stopped initiating intimacy. Unfortunately, cheating will occur in about 40% of unmarried partnerships. Now, that percentage does drop once a couple ties the knot, but cheating is very real and very possible. The biggest indicator that your partner may be stepping out of the relationship is that they've drastically changed their lifestyle and personality. Have they completely redone their wardrobe? Are they suddenly interested in a sport that usually wouldn't excite them? Have they changed their body language and mannerisms? These extreme changes, accompanied by emotional and physical distance, could be a sign that your partner is cheating. The best way to approach this is to be direct, but gentle, and then confront your partner. The key is to never make accusations, but instead use I statements that deflect blame. By taking criticism out of the conversation, you'll be more likely to get a truthful answer. Number 2, commitment issues. So many people fear lasting commitment and deep, true love. There's actually a name for it: philophobia. Now, philophobia is extremely rare and likely not what your partner is experiencing. There's a much greater chance your partner has an avoidant or disorganized attachment style. See, I believe that deep down, we all want to love and be loved in return. However, past relationships and the scars that they leave us often leave us afraid of being vulnerable enough to be in a genuine, committed relationship. If your lover tends to be pessimistic, switches from hot to cold in your relationship, and has difficulty expressing their emotions, they likely have fear of commitment. If you believe your partner has attachment and commitment issues, the best thing you can do to rekindle your relationship is to be patient and understanding. I know how hard that is, given that your partner isn't exactly stepping up to the plate. But if you want to save your partnership, this is one time you'll have to give a little more than you receive. You have to take the pressure off of making the relationship work. That may seem counterintuitive, but people with avoidant attachment style thrive in relationships without too many expectations. Instead of pushing for marriage, engagement, or a vow recommitment, try taking a low-pressure, high-quality vacation instead. And understand, if marriage and commitment are deeply important to you, it may take someone with an avoidant attachment style longer to pop the question. Number 3, unexpected life changes you don't know about yet. If your love has been distancing themselves from your relationship, there might be a plausible explanation that has nothing to do with you. Maybe your partner had something terrible happen, like losing their job or the death of a loved one, and they've yet to find a way to mention it to you. Loss is something we all experience. However, we all process our emotions and grief differently. If your partner has a history of not talking about their feelings, this situation may be a repeat of their past behavior. Setbacks like losing a job are difficult to talk about, especially with someone you love and admire. We all want our partner's respect, and unfortunately, some people feel like if they open up, they'll be seen as weak. So it's worth considering if your partner may have suffered a loss or setback and just hasn't found a way to communicate it yet to you. If you think this might be the case, it's important to be your partner's support system. They may not want to talk about it yet, so don't push them until they're ready. Instead, create an environment of openness, vulnerability, and safety for your partner. When they're ready, you'll be the first person they open up to. Number 4, they feel a bit stale in life or in your relationship. After many years of marriage, it's easy to fall into the trap of routine. The groceries have to be bought, household chores have to be done, and kids have to go to soccer practice 4 times a week. It's no wonder that for so many people, the mundane tasks of daily life end up ruling our entire world. Many couples have to schedule time for each other in the chaos of adulthood. While there's no shame in scheduled date night or intimacy, the routineness of it all can make romance feel more like an obligation than an outlet. If you're not changing your routine often enough, and you've noticed your partner branching out in their social circle and finding new hobbies, there's a chance they feel a little stagnant in the relationship. If you believe your partner feels stale and uninspired, the solution is actually really simple. Shake things up a bit. It's time to get, impromptu. Plan a surprise weekend getaway for your love and make the destination somewhere they've always wanted to go. Or instead of scheduled intimacy, try doing things a little differently or someplace different. Number 5, unresolved issues in the relationship. I've always found it perplexing that we harbor resentment and ill will towards others without ever trying to resolve the problem. Instead, many of us just go about our life holding on to anger, frustration, and so much negativity, never stopping to question why we're mad in the first place. Unresolved issues are a silent killer of relationships. In fact, 2 of the biggest reasons for divorce are resentment and stonewalling. Maybe you and your partner had a bad spell of fights and conflict a few months back, but the relationship never really returned to normal. You sense that something is wrong, but they blow you off when you try to approach the subject. If your partner is emotionally and physically distant and investing more time in their friendships than in your relationship, this might be a sign that they're hanging on to a past conflict. If you suspect this is the case, push through the awkwardness and open a line of vulnerable communication with your partner. Gently, empathetically, ask them if they feel the relationship is on track and if there's anything from the past that's still bothering them. They may not open up easily, but with time, care, and in a safe environment, your partner will eventually talk about what issues they're still clinging on to. My husband is a divorce attorney, and he says the number 1 reason why people end up in his office, it's not because of one big thing, it's because of several little things that have compounded. See, he always would describe it as, like, imagine a house, and there's, different rooms in the house, and, one room gets filled up with a bunch of garbage, and it's a huge mess. And, you just eventually, if you don't clean it up, you got to exit that room and you can't go in that room. And then eventually the whole house just gets filled up with so much junk that you can't go back into the house. So it's important to, clean up those little issues that arise, in every relationship and just address them, talk about it, work it out. No matter why your partner is pulling away from the relationship, it's important to understand that as long as you're really trying to rekindle the flames, you're doing your best. Again, there's not always an explanation for why people become disengaged from the relationship. However, these 5 possibilities are the most common reasons why partners lose interest. The most important thing to remember: be kind, understanding, and empathetic towards your partner. If you 2 are truly meant to be, they'll find their way back. Do you have any other suggestions on why people pull away from relationships? Leave them in the comments below. Did you like this video? If so, subscribe and click the little thumbs up button at the bottom. And don't forget, if you're single, go to lumasearch.com and fill out the profile form so we can find you a match. Thanks much and see you next time.